Hey everybody, I'm Chief Meteorologist Eric Snitil. Thank you for logging on to RochesterFirst.com. We're going to give you a quick digital-only update on what should be, I think, a snowy start to our weekend on Saturday. I want to throw this at you first. Today now marks 2 straight weeks that we have been in winter here, so 14 days. This is amazing to me. Rochester, at least at the airport, we have broken the freezing mark every one of those days, 14 of 14 so far this winter. We have not had a single day that stayed below freezing. 10 of those 14 days, we've seen at least 40 degrees, and we've only had measurable snow one time. That was New Year's Eve. We officially got half an inch, and that has been it. Tomorrow might be our first opportunity to get an inch of snow this winter. And that is a long time in to be able to make that statement. Live shot of some of our traffic cameras here. This is along I-90, Batavia, Geneva. You've got Williamsville and Victor. You know, there's no snow on any of these. The roadways are nice and dry. Travel is going to be just fine. Yes, we've got clouds. No, it does not look all that pretty. But it's pretty quiet out there, and I think it's going to take until early tomorrow morning for the vast majority of some of this precip to start to work in. So your hourly numbers, temperatures will be dropping through the course of this evening, and then especially after midnight. And I'm going to tell you now, we've got to watch those numbers very closely. Being off by just 1 degree is going to make for a very different setup for some of you as we go into the day Saturday, minus a couple of random rain showers. We'll call that drizzle. I think we're otherwise just cloudy and mostly dry. We'll take more of an HD view of what radar looks like. We've had some sprinkles, if you even want to call it that, across the Finger Lakes. That's pretty much it. Most of the action remains well off to our south. All of this is rain. So you're asking, so where's the snow coming from? It's coming from that. This is what we call a short wave. You can see the spin splitting Minneapolis and Omaha. That area of counterclockwise rotation is going to slide in our general direction. It's going to have some colder air with it too, and that's going to be our catalyst to start to get a wintry mix in here by tomorrow morning. Note what Futurecast does. It's quicker with the arrival of some of these light rain showers, though. I think by 2 a.m., most of that precip is falling south of the thruway, and with temperatures still in the upper 30s, it should be a cold rain, so I don't think there's anything we've got to worry about that early. By daybreak, though, with temps falling another few degrees, now we're looking at rain mixing with and even changing to snowfall. It's going to be a wet snow out of this because we're still not below freezing. And by 6 to 7 o'clock, the highest chance that we're getting those flakes falling will be along and north of the thruway. As the day wears on, though, that transition to snow continues to push south and southeast. So eventually, by the end of the morning and most certainly through the afternoon, pretty much everybody is now turned over to mostly snow, but by this point into the afternoon, it's a quick moving and weak system. I don't think we're filled in necessarily with snow everywhere. It's going to be more scattered snow showers with perhaps some help from Lake Ontario. You note the wind flow out of this is from the northwest, and even though it's not bitterly cold, the lake is still warm enough that you can get some lake enhancement out of that before a lot of that starts to fade out as we go into our Saturday night. So timing this out from an impact standpoint, early in the morning, we still have a mix, minus freezing rain. That's the one thing we will not get tomorrow. Rain, sleet, and then the snow is going to be the progression. I would figure by 9 and 10 and beyond, certainly in Rochester, this is now all wet snow. The peak of the coverage of the snow will end up going late morning before gradually tapering as we start to go into the afternoon. Now, how much of this is going to end up sticking? That is a wonderful question, and we're going to liken this to the storm that we got a couple of weeks ago, where we figured a lot of folks would get 2 to 4 inches of snow. And what most of you got was an inch or less. And you know the reason for that? It was 1 degree warmer than the models thought. I think tomorrow has a lot of parallels to that and a lot of similarities. So what this will end up being for some of you is that slushy, yucky, you're going to get snow for a good chunk of the day, but it doesn't really pile up that much. You get just a little bit of that accumulation on elevated and grassy surfaces, but the roads are largely fine. I do think we're going to get a pocket in this general area. You see we've got painted in darker blue from Rochester toward the Bristol Hills area, maybe even farther off to the west into parts of Genesee and Wyoming County, where it may snow hard enough and long enough that you could get a slushy 1 to 3 inches out of that. And then especially if we can get some lake enhancement going, could there be a spot that gets 3 or 4? Yeah, we can't rule that out, but I think that's going to be the exception. And there will be many areas here that even though it snows, it's just that yucky, slushy stuff that really does not accumulate that much. So I guess my point here is tomorrow is not a big deal. Even in the areas that get 1, 2, 3, 4 inches of snow, most of that is not going to be a roadway issue. The road should be able to have been kept up with because temps are still above freezing. And certainly no problems this evening, even though we do start to trend colder. Sunday looks largely quiet. There could be a random snow shower. We'll watch another weak system moving in Sunday night and early Monday. That could give you another quick burst of perhaps an inch of snow out of that. And we watch again going into Tuesday night and early Wednesday for another shot of snow. Because I'll tell you what, beyond that, as we go toward the latter part of next week and beyond, lots of signals and lots of signs that we're going to be trending a lot warmer yet again. We'll see you back on air for the 5 o'clock news in about 18 minutes.